Thank you for listening to the Intramural League. If you're listening to the show and you think that we're amateurs, you're right. If you listen to the show and you think that we're professionals, you're right as well. We're the amateur professionals. Welcome to the Intramural League. Welcome back to the Intramural League. I go by the name Johnny Will.
This is Nationwide Nate.
Cartier King cashing in.
And we have an OG, the original local legend, and the founder of the local legends, my guy Chuck. Welcome
That's
to the show.
me,
Chuck. Welcome to the show, man.
What's up, family?
And I know you tuned in last week, but real quick before we
Not
dive
just
in,
last week, every week now. Come on.
I like the sound of that. I appreciate that. Now we have a beer challenge going on that I want to get into first and foremost. So the guy sitting next to me, Cartier, claims that he can tell the difference between a Coors Light, Miller Lite, and a Bud Light. And you told me before the show you wanted to jump in this challenge as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm be honest, I ain't got faith in either one of y'all.
I mean, you ain't gotta have faith. Like they say, bro, you ain't gotta be scared to get your ass whooped.
He claims to be a beer connoisseur. I don't know who say that, but he made it up, right? So go ahead, man. I marked the cups, and we're gonna put this on YouTube as well and the page.
So we got what? We got A, B, and C?
We got A, B, and C.
All right. This is A. Let me see here.
And why are you sipping that? Chuck, man, tell me about it. So how did the local legends come about? I thought it was a great idea.
Thank you.
And number one, I didn't know you was the founder.
Yeah.
But a round of applause to you, man.
Yeah, I ain't got no round of applause.
Sound effect.
There it is. Make some noise for that.
So what sparked the idea?
But you know what, man? It's funny. I'm glad, but thank you for the acknowledgement. It started back in 2012. My classmates and I were looking for a fundraiser for our class reunion. And what everybody was talking about was doing like a battle of the classes basketball game. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but we got a lot of talent that came out of Dunbar. So, if you know anything about Dunbar, everybody is tight. You can graduate in 2001
Absolutely. Yeah.
and be tight with somebody from class of 2008. It's just how it works. Like there's something about that blue. So I'm talking to my classmates about some things, and then me and Darren Powell are real tight. We went to elementary school together or whatever. And then I have a real good relationship with Daquan too. Daquan Cook.
Jefferson.
and I'm just saying names so people can, have a point of reference.
Yeah.
Me and Daquan are cool too. So what I'm thinking is, okay, if we do a battle of the classes, maybe Daquan can be like our special guest host. So then my brain keeps running and running and running. I'm like, wait a minute. If Daquan's in town, if he's the special guest host, maybe we can try to get Daquan to play.
Right.
So we come up with a date for this thing. So I talked to Darren, and Darren was like real receptive, like, yeah, man, he'll do it, whatever, just keep me posted on things. So me and Darren get to talking, and it's like, wait a minute. This battle of the classes thing, and I'm going to be frank, and I mean, I'm not, shitting on my classmates and nothing like that, because they brought the idea to my attention. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, ain't nobody trying to see no washed-ass dudes out here playing basketball.
Right. It's serious, though.
When we watch basketball, we want to see high-level basketball. We want to see good talent. So I was just like, all right, Pete, what if we did like an all-star game with people who got like a name recognition in the city? So it's getting closer to the time Norris's camp is going on. So Norris's camp is going on, and I think this is after Norris won his first championship. So everybody's happy to see Norris. And ironically, Daquan was playing on the opposing team. This was when Daquan was with the Thunder. So we got two guys that just played in the finals. All right, cool. So these guys are going to be the headliners of the event. So
Absolutely.
We're going to put Cook against Cole on two different teams. My classmates were like, all right, cool. And in my class, we had two guys that was pretty good. That was Lou Leslie and Todd Sellers. So we're going to put them on there too because it's a fundraiser for the class reunion. So the brain just keep running and running and running. And as I'm selling it to everybody, Daquan, I'm like, yo, I know you're a philanthropic dude. I know I said that word wrong, but you a guy who I'm black. Sorry, but you a guy that likes to give back. So how about
he the new Nationwide name? That's what he is.
He got that 1.0. That's all he needed.
Man, we're gonna talk about that one, man. Hey, when I was a Dunbar, I had no 1.0. But as we start like just forming ideas and things are just starting to mushroom, I'm like, yo, what if we made this a part of your scholarship foundation too? In conjunction with my class reunion. I was like, all right, cool, I'm with it. Like, DP handles all the details. Y'all two run with it. So then we just start cold calling guys like, hey, you know him? He can go. Hey, he can go. Hey, let's call him. He can go. He can go. And as it went on, we got like a bunch of guys that can go. So then we found a venue. Ironically, Dunbar was booked for like the class of 83's reunion or something like that.
Damn, 83.
Right. I forgot what class it was.
You're like 83. We got to bump y'all real quick.
But they said we're using the gym, so we found another spot. So we ended up getting Stivers because our guy Sean McCullough was a coach over there at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, man, y'all can go ahead and use Stivers. Just get a custodian, this, and this, and we can do it. And DP, he works in the DPS system, so we made that work. 6 years later, we got probably the best all-star type game in the city. We didn't do it this year, but I got another play I'm working on too.
I can say I only was able to make it to a handful of them, but one, y'all was even able to get out about billions. He even joined. He ain't a good basketball player like he is a boxer.
He's not a bad basketball player, but he brought people
was
out
quick,
there, though. And that's the thing, though, man. It goes back to, it's not what you know, it's who you know, who knows you at the same time. So a buddy of mine is a party promoter, and we talk about that one, too. He's a party promoter from Cincinnati. So I gave him a call, like, hey, AB's people? He's like, yeah. I said, well, can you put me in contact with him? And he put me in contact with 6'4", who's also known as Rayvon Lil John. That's like AB's like business manager. Gotcha. Or for those who watch Entourage, he's heir to Vince, to Adrian's Vince. So he's the person who...
Or if you watch Ballers, he's Reggie.
Yes, but he has a little bit more sense than Reggie. So I hollered at 6'4", and 6'4" was like, yeah, he's not in camp right now. He'd do it for this amount of money. So me and DP run things past each other, and, that's how we landed AB. But we've landed guys, of course, Norris, Daquan, Chris Wright, who's played in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they had me, but my voicemail.
I mean, we've got, the world-famous DJ Bandcamp. Who else have we got to play in this game? Chris Wright. Josh Benson, like a lot of guys who went to Dunbar or who have been nice in the city and came back and played. And we had like Joe Ballard, and Joe Ballard's now playing for Harlem Globetrotters.
Nice. Okay.
So like our alumni base is really crazy as far as guys who played in the local Legends game. So my ideal was the first time make a fundraiser for my class reunion, and that thing just grew. Like year 2, we like, okay, we're gonna do a back to school drive.
Yeah, because I noticed that it was presented initially like it was just like a basketball game, but then when you go, you see that there's a scholarship, given, and it just turned into a nice foundation.
Not a scholarship, scholarships.
Scholarships.
We will put an S on that.
So I want to get into what else you got coming up, but for now, I want you to go ahead and join this beer challenge.
Okay.
I think I got Cartier's answers. So what do you think, man? We got them labeled A, B, and C.
You.
Did you write them down? Did you remember?
Nah, I didn't. I remember.
Okay.
But here we go again. Me and this guy.
What?
You can tell.
Want me to scream out my answers and
like
Chuck
the
over
quizzes?
Here. Yeah, because I can't say them, and then it affects his answer.
So you think he gonna cheat?
No, but I'm saying you can't
I get what
give
you're saying,
your
though.
answer and the other person.
While he's drinking, though, I want to know.
I'll just type it into my
No,
notes.
No, man.
While he's drinking and tasting, I want to get into our club bangers. So I was listening to some music and I was on my throwback playlist, and it just brought me back to the pregame. So what was your favorite go-to song as far as like, and with Chuck being here, he one of the first college parties that I went to up at Ohio State, and that was an amazing night. You walked away with a polo vest that night.
Hey.
But what would be a go-to song for you, man?
Oh man, it was so many, man. I mean, it's like I don't know how throwback you want to go, but man, Nate just brought it out of me. Photo shoot, dog. Gucci photo shoot was the anthem as far as in therapy, therapy cafe, and what other Gucci song?
I broke
Bricks,
mine down.
bruh.
Bricks was a hot one. I broke mine down into to categories. So if I'm at the crib pregame and getting ready to go out, then I'm probably throwing on Gorilla Zoe Lost. That puts you in the
Really?
Yeah. Gorilla Zoe Lost, and then next thing you know, you just vibing and sipping, and then you throw on Lil Wayne Beat Without Bass because you only listen to his verse. You don't care what Freaky Ziggy got to talk about. But then when you in the club, I don't care what college party you went to, when you hear this.
Hello.
My guy Jeezy turned it all the way up, and I almost got up out this seat right now, did it down the way. So Chuck, what was your go-to song, man?
You know what? When you said pregame, I'm thinking, Intramural League. We talk about.
He said a shoot around.
Right. But the first song that came to mind to me was like No More Playing GA. I'm gonna go pregame. Like when I was young, throw the headphones on with that bass, with them gunshots in the background. We're not promoting violence here, but it's like you just hear that, man. Like Pastor Troy did it, and this is like an anthem. And actually, your brother put everybody on to this song. It was your brother and Shane.
He said drama left, right, left.
Right.
You got it.
That one too. Nope.
That
it was
will.
a Lil John and Eastside Boys and Too Short. Couldn't be a better player.
Okay.
Couldn't be a better player.
Yeah, you did go back on.
So I'm a little older than y'all.
Yeah.
But those were the ones. But like right now, what I'm going to, like present day, Mask Off.
Oh,
Yeah.
obviously.
You can't go
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to as far as like my pregame.
So before we move on to the first quarter and talk about Ohio State, your alumni, I want to get y'all answers in regards to this beer challenge. Y'all not competing against each other. Y'all just competing to see if y'all can actually figure this out. So A, B, or C, what's your answer?
Who you want to go first?
I want you to go first. It was your challenge initially.
A, 100% Bud Light.
All right, so you said A is Bud Light.
B, Miller Light. C, Coors Light.
Hold on real quick.
Okay. All right, so
C
the
is
one that I thought
C is definitely Coors Light.
the one I thought you was gonna get wrong, you got wrong. I told you was probably gonna figure out. No, I actually thought you was gonna figure out Coors and going to get Bud Light, Miller Light mixed up. So A is Coors Light.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this beer?
C is Bud Light, and then B is Miller Light. So the beer connoisseur is not the connoisseur at all.
All right, go ahead and pass
hold
the
up,
rest of
bro.
them beers also.
Pass the rest of the beers also. Coming up in the first quarter, we talking Ohio State. They escaped with a win, but should their slow start be a concern? We'll talk more.
Players on the floor, crowds on their feet. The first quarter starts now.
So the Buckeyes kicked off college football versus Indiana, and they escaped with a win of 49-21. I know that seems like a blowout.
That's not an
but-
escape.
That don't
Right.
sound like
That's
an
not an
escape
escape.
to me.
but if you watch the game in the first quarter, I would say that, hey man, it wasn't that championship football that you thought you would see. And I said this last week, that if there was going to be a game that you were concerned about, it'll be this one. Not that Ohio State is not good enough to win, and like I said, I'm rooting for Ohio State as well. But there were some changes within the offensive coordinator, and then you have JT, who looks like he's no longer the mobile quarterback he once was. And walking and running out here with a flat tire. So that would be the game you would be concerned about, because they got to figure things out. And we saw that with that slow start. So is there concern? Chuck, Ohio State alumni.
I don't think there's concern. And I preface this by saying, like, my alumni base can be very rabid and very irrational. I like to pattern myself as a rational Ohio State fan. However, I don't think there's cause for concern. A, it's the first game of the season. So you're gonna be a little tight for a while. And then B, the past 4 years, Indiana has played us really, really tough. I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying.
And Indiana they used to have like mid-major D1 talent. Like, they're getting like guys there now, and they're invested in football. So we can't take that into account. Like, the Big Ten is starting to transform. It's no longer, as they call it, and I know they have 14 teams in the league, the Big Two and Little Eight. Like, it's a league that's pretty solid. And as more big name coaches, i.e. PJ Fleck going to Minnesota, as more bigger name
Row that
coaches.
boat.
I just want to hear him say, who's the big two?
Big Two? Oh, man, Ohio State and just, you know what? Now it's this team that wears maize and blue, but for a while, it was the team that wore green and white.
Yeah.
But Penn State is starting to come back too. But going back to the question, I don't think it's cause for concern. I mean, Ohio State had to get it going. But one thing that does kind of concern me is, I noticed with JT was this. If you're not wide open, he's not going to pass you the ball. I think he's a little gun shy. I don't know.
Saying that.
I don't know why. It's just he don't have that moxie that he used to, man. Like, if you're not wide open, that ball is not coming to you. But then again, you got to have receivers that put confidence in you. I mean, he threw a dime to Paris Campbell, and he dropped
end zone?
in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wide
it's
open.
6. and he dropped it.
But he threw a duck to Marcus Ball, and he was wide open. So
What's the rule of receiving though? It hit your hands.
Hit your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I definitely feel that.
I mean, and Paris Campbell was in stride too.
Right.
oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just lost the ball. He mistracked it. It happens to all of us.
But defensively, like, I mean, we lost a lot, and that D-line was lights out last week.
I don't know how many Bosas they got, but they got another one,
And
and
not to
he was
mention-
tearing through things.
Yeah, that front seven is really, really
I'm gonna
good.
tell you who impressed me out the D-line the most, because we know what Bosa and Herberg is gonna bring, and Tyquan Lewis,
Landers.
Sean Cornell. He was killing in that game. And he only played like maybe 25 snaps, but every snap he's in the backfield.
I mean, I'm not impressed because he was the number one player in the country at a point in time. So he's doing what he's supposed to do.
So
And then, I mean, that back three played really good too. Worley had a pretty nice night, and then Booker played really good too. Booker's really, really good. He doesn't really get the recognition that he probably should have. And then you losing 5, Raekwon McMillan. So you losing 5 off the field. I mean, that guy was always everywhere.
Yeah.
So Nationwide, you had some comments about JT Baird, and I want you to enlighten the show, man. What was your comment?
I don't see any growth in his game. But after watching the game, I had to take a step back and just kind of evaluate JT as a college football quarterback. He's a good college football quarterback, is going to go down as one of the great. He's going to set a lot of Big Ten records. He's not an NFL quarterback, and I just have to come to that realization.
But you know what? A lot of Urban's quarterbacks aren't NFL quarterbacks.
True that.
And then as far as Ohio State quarterbacks, I mean, I think we're all Ohio State fans at this table. It's not a school for quarterbacks.
True.
So when he leaves there, he's going to be a top 5 Ohio State quarterback off of what he's done the past 4 years.
Hang on though. So if JT Barrett is not an NFL quarterback, and yet he is running out there with a flat tire, what are we expecting him to do?
Okay,
like I said last week, he lost his job because he couldn't get the ball.
Tire thing, man.
Did you see him on an option play? He can't run anymore.
I mean,
You know what? As somebody who's had a surgery on their lower body,
that's the reason. I'm
you're
not saying he just
apprehensive. Like I had knee surgery last year, and right now, like if you ask me to run 100 yards, I'm going to look at you crazy. I'm like, no.
I mean, but he didn't. I don't think he got a flat tire. Just to put that out there.
What I mean is he didn't connect downfield a lot either. And that's what's supposed to be the new offense.
See, but
in the second half of the game, he started getting better. He started getting some confidence in himself, and he started getting confidence in the receivers. And we know how this goes too. You win the game inside out. They started running the ball. Dobbins was punishing it, and things start opening up.
Exactly. But what I'm saying about JT though is that it's the first game of the season where they're overmatched by us. So it's almost like this is not the game to take those risks. It's no need to put us into a situation of desperation.
So when you say
we know
they're overmatched, who's overmatched?
Indiana was.
Okay.
And you're going to be vanilla,
right?
versus
You're going to be vanilla against
the
the team that that you're supposed to beat and that you know you're going to beat. So it's no need for him to be a world beater and be throwing pretty much balls into danger for no reason.
No.
He was 20 of 35 for about 300 yards.
Hang on, let me rebuttal that a little bit because it's not about him not throwing it. He threw it. It just was not on target. Except for the one in the end zone. He was missing.
A lot of his passes.
He was missing.
A lot of his passes was off target. He the flag route Paris Campbell ran. He missed. Paris Campbell got his hands on the ball, but it's behind him and high. So I call that off on him. He missed Marcus' ball deep. He missed Marcus' ball on a flag. So a lot of his passes were off. And like you stated earlier, he don't throw the ball unless you're wide open. And by time, if you get open and he's still holding the ball, it's too late at that point because the defense is going to shift your way. You have to throw the ball out when they coming out there breaks. And JT doesn't do that. He doesn't throw any receivers open. And that's why I say I don't see any growth in his game.
Now, what's funny is he used to do that, but then again, he had guys that would get open. Like, he had Marshall that was shifty. He had Smith that could take a top off of a defense.
And I mean, and Thomas pretty much wasn't going to let you get the ball.
It was crazy about Thomas.
Incomplete Thomas.
Right. People were really down on Thomas. Thomas ended up being a really, really, really good receiver.
Yeah, he was.
As you see that now, as he's a top 15, I ain't gonna say 15. That's generous, but he's highly regarded in an NFL now. But he plays in the offense where he's gonna get the ball, but still,
he's a third-round fantasy pick.
The only thing
that's
about
major.
Only thing about
that is that's where we are in football these days.
Ohio State is you hear all these analysts continue to say that the receivers don't get open and they're not making plays and get separation. It's hard for me to believe that. They have 15 receivers on the roster, and 10 of them at least are top 5 or 10.
But here's
receivers.
the thing, though. Benjamin's supposed to be an AJ Green type guy. Benjamin ain't showed me nothing in 2 years.
But it's hard for me to believe that these guys are like overrated. Either you're not developing them, or you're not giving them an opportunity to make plays.
When you look at the all 22 cam that they show on TV, bruh, they don't nobody be open.
That's true. And
so is that on the receivers to get?
Yes.
All 4 of us to play football, and us 3 have played skill positions. If you get in the guy's chest, and if you can't get off,
what the quarterback supposed to do?
But part of that is on JT. I'm not going to necessarily put it on JT. Part of that is on the offense in general, because if you watch the Indiana game in the first half, we was run first down, run second down. If we didn't get any yards, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they dropping 8.
They dropping 8. Nobody's going to get open. So it's like throw the ball on first down. I think they got to that in the second half.
Yeah.
And that's why we got a lot of chunks.
So another question I have for y'all, though, is do Weber get his job back?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, Dobbins had a really good game, don't get me wrong, but Weber's still your guy.
Weber ain't no scrub.
Hey, Weber is the guy. Like, I didn't understand why Ohio State went away from him late in the season last year, because he always fell forward. Because
Ford was on fire.
Now, is it premature, though? Because you're looking at his body of work and saying he's that guy, but if he get out there and he's no longer what you thought he was.
But this is a game with like this too. Like, I mean, 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But with 2 running backs, you're deadly. And those are kind of guys with different styles too. Yeah. Dobbins is more of a game breaker. Weber's just gonna hit you in the mouth for 4 yards. 4 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop. And then we're gonna let Dobbins go take one for 60.
Yeah.
Could be like Minnesota back in the day was a Maroney and Barber.
Maroney,
Yeah.
Barber, and gosh, what's the other? Gary Russell.
Yeah.
Like this game coming up, he's going to get his snaps. He's going to get his touches. Now, by the end of the year, we may see more touches go to JK, but at least he's going to have the opportunity to, continue to, I guess, win the job.
And you went on wax and said he's the best athlete, right?
You damn right.
But it's funny you said Barber from Minnesota because when you watch the Cowboys a few years ago, like this. I mean, we got us playing football. When you have a lead, you want a back that can finish the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm going back to Antonio Pittman back in like that 06 team where you put the ball in Tony's hands, the game is over with. He might break one or he's going to give you 4 a pop. You put the ball in that guy's hands and you just kill the clock. Yep. And I think that's what Weber is.
Yeah.
So when you got an elite athlete in Dobbins, as you say, why go back to Weber?
Well, because, Weber, he earned his position. I don't feel like you lose your position due just to injury. You give him the opportunity to go out there and do what he was going to do. And then if he doesn't show up, then you play it by ear and go with JK. But, you definitely got to put him back out there. Like, he's a proven commodity. Yeah, like, he balled out last year. He had a stack.
Right.
And, as a freshman.
He was productive last year.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I just wanted the explanation. So before we get in the regular check it, I want to get a quick score from all of y'all. So Oklahoma Sooners versus the Buckeyes was the score. What you giving me? Come on now.
I'll go first. 41-24 Ohio State.
41-24. How do you come with that number?
41-24.
Ohio State's favorite number is 42. We scored that like 4 or 5 times the year we won the championship.
45.
So 42-21 Bucks.
37-24 Buckeyes.
I don't know how they come up with these scores, but I love them. Let's get in regular check. All right, so Nationwide, I'm coming at you first. So Lil B has warned Lonzo Ball and the Lakers with a curse on his rookie season and the Lakers' future, because Lonzo came out and said Nas ain't hip hop. So regular check it on that warning.
I'm gonna check it, man. We don't want no problems with the bass guy, man. Come on. Plus Lonzo tripping. How can you say Nas not hip hop? Come on, man.
Chuck, regular check it.
That's just a new guy speaking out of term, so I just ignore it and keep it moving. So we gonna wreck it.
Cartier?
I gotta check the warning for sure, man. I can't trust them light skins.
So Cartier, I'm coming at you. So in the Clemson season opener, the band gave a shout out to Ohio State. The band got in formation and shaped 31-0, which was a score to O State game versus Clemson last season. Regular check it.
Man, first of all, the O that they formed was pretty atrocious. The best damn band in the land. Need to teach them a few lessons, but it is what it is. You got to check it. It's a reminder of how terrible we played, and we won't see them in the championship.
I'm definitely checking it because we on their line.
So it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So we
Chuck?
good.
I'm gonna check it, but why are you trolling Ohio State? Why aren't you trolling Alabama?
Exactly.
Like you moving fast afterwards to me, but I thought it was funny. But again, why are you trolling Ohio State?
Exactly. Nationwide?
I'm gonna wreck it, man. I have no explanation, but I ain't messing with that 31-0. That's history.
So, Chuck, this one's for you, man. In Urban Meyer's post-game conference, he compared J.K. Dobbins to Zeke Elliott, saying that he's the same kind of hard worker in practice and carries himself like a professional. Regular check it.
Well, knowing we know about Zeke now, does Zeke carry himself like a professional?
That's why I think he said it.
Read your nose, huh?
Hey, I think he said it because he was throwing Zeke a lifeline, personally.
That could have been it, but I don't see the comparison. Like, Zeke was a game breaker, but you know what the funny thing about Zeke was? They didn't start using Zeke like midway through the season when he started breaking games open. I can see that parallel, but I don't see it just yet until Dobbins is running for 80 yards per game. You know what I mean?
Cartier?
I gotta check it, man. You know what I mean? Zeke's a professional cokehead and professional womanizer and a breast puller. So,
he put it on wax.
He the illest.
Put it on wax.
You know what I'm saying? But on the field, game to game, I like his game. I know Abbas is just one game, but they got similarities.
You know what? Dobbins, I think, is going to be what Dontre Wilson was supposed to be.
Man, please.
I said what he was supposed to be.
No,
supposed to be.
They're completely different people.
So, Nationwide, regular check it.
Hey, man, I'm going to check it because he referred to saying J.K. Dobbins is just as good of a practice player as Zeke's. And, he's from Texas. Texas is like the king of football.
Where's Dontre Wilson from?
So Nationwide, we come back at you with this one, man. So the New York Giants head coach, Ben McAdoo, was asked about Zeke Elliott and what's the game plan if he plays. And he said basically all running backs run the same when they ain't got nowhere to run. I'm going to check it.
I'm going to check it, man. I like that answer, man. He's showing his confidence in his defense. And if you ain't got no holes to run through, you're not going anywhere.
Chuck?
Man, we going to wreck it, man. That boy's a beast. I mean, he was an MVP candidate his rookie year of the season. I get what McAdoo is doing, but a lot of these NFL coaches I like because they're straight shooters, man. You got to call it how you see it.
Exactly.
Man, you got to wreck that, man. It's going to be big old 3rd Street holes out there, man. So,
how you wreck that? You can't be like, man, he gonna run all over us.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, you can't be speaking nonsense. Either you could have gave a vanilla answer or said something else. But Zeke gonna have a monster day for his first game and only game of the season, probably because he about to go do something else crazy soon.
So, Cartier, this last question is for you. So, Isaiah Thomas recently came out about the recent trade, and he said basically the Celtics didn't get any better with the trade for him for Kyrie Irving. Ready to check it?
Check it, man. He said they trash, bro. Kyrie is trash. Meet me in the back. So, yeah, man. Like I said, the Cavs won the trade. He know what he talking about, and that's facts.
Nationwide?
I'm going to wreck it. I mean, he's supposed to say that because he's a Cavalier now. I do believe Boston got better. Cleveland's still going to go to the championship next year, but after next year, once LeBron and IT gone.
Hold on. Before you go, Chuck. So you trying to tell me that next year they got better by losing Isaiah Thomas and Jake Crowder by gaining Kyrie?
Not next year, but on the long
I'm talking about next year. He's talking about next year.
We're not worried about next year. We're talking
What do you mean we're not talking about next year?
Save that, Chuck. Regular check it.
Trade.
Loser.
I'm gonna wreck it, but I mean, I get it. Like it's like talking bad about your ex. So I mean, I'm with a new person, so I'm gonna let them know.
So did he break God code? We'll talk about that later on.
But yeah, we gonna wreck that one.
Check it.
Scissor the weekend. No.
So coming up in the second quarter, we talking the NFL, but I got more questions for Chuck. Stay tuned.
Finish the half strong. Second quarter starts now.
So if you're from the Dayton area, it's been all over the news lately that Dayton Public Schools have dropped their required GPA for athletes to participate in sports, and they dropped it to a 1.0. We have an athletic director from Cincinnati in the building with us, so I got to get his...
Hey, man, I'm from Dayton.
Well, he works in Cincinnati. He's from Dayton. I can't leave that out. Sorry about that.
I'm just a kid from Dayton.
But I want to pick his brain about this, man. What are your thoughts about the 1.0? I've seen... My initial feeling was it was crazy, but I'm friends with a head coach of football who educated me. So what you do when you are given new information, you got to receive that information, and then you can choose whether to change your opinion, and which I did, because now that I learned more, I changed how I felt about it. But I want to pick your brain on what does that really mean, dropping it to 1.0.
I'm going to go back to high school or elementary school. If you don't understand something, ask questions. And what happens,
absolutely,
and what you're doing is asking the question. So what happened with that was just clickbait for people. Like, DPS changes their...
Definitely made us the face. Yeah.
It made you want to do that. It made you want to read the article. But you know what? Some of us didn't even read the article. They read the headline. So somebody who studied journalism when they were at the Ohio State University, the headline is the one that gets you like that. I like that. But the headline is the thing that gets you to the article. But it's on you to read the article, and all the information was explained explicitly in the article. So it's not technically a 1.0 GPA. It's passing 5 out of 6 one credit classes. So you're passing 5 out of 6 classes, and technically that could end up being a 1.0. But what happens is if you're a student athlete and you're playing sports and you pass 5 out of 6 classes and you have all D's, you are subject to go through academic intervention. And academic intervention, what I tried to explain to people was study tables, help nights, grade sheets, things of that nature, showing that you're trying to get that 1.0. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that athletic director and that coach that you play for can deem you ineligible after that. So it's not really 1.0. Personally, I think it was not a great job of DPS explaining to people what the rule was, and it's like their public affairs team probably should have did a better job with a press release and explaining what it is. Because what people don't understand is that's the Ohio State High School Athletic Association standard. So people just see 1.0 like, oh my God, 1.0. We lowering the standard for these kids. And you're not really lowering the standard for the kids because there are other parameters in place to keep them getting that 2.0. Honestly, I think a 2.0 is too low, but I get it.
Yeah.
Because to qualify for the NCAA eligibility center, it's a 2.3 and an 18 on the ACT and the sliding scale. But that's another story for another day. But it's not technically a 1.0. It's pretty much passing 5 or 6 of your one credit classes.
So to
without physical education too, because gym don't count.
Right.
So to put parents at ease, because I saw this a lot as well, is my kid is on the football team or the basketball team. He's starting. There's a kid who's not meeting grades. All of a sudden, next thing you know, he's given the permission to play sports, and he makes my kid now sit the bench.
No, that's not making sense. I mean, our coaches want to do the right thing, and that's one thing that we teach our coaches about. It's not about wins and losses, but, I mean, you still want to win a game. You know, this isn't Little League football.
Right.
So you want to get your best talent out there. So you're not bumping a kid who doesn't have good grades versus a kid that has bad grades. You're not doing that at all. I mean, if you got a kid that got all D's that can go, more often than not, that kid with all D's that can go is going to play.
Right.
I've been that kid with good grades, got set for a kid that have really the best of grades, but you got to understand the game works too.
Yeah.
So you said that like there's perimeters and requirements in place for those kids that's kind of like in that 1.0 to 1.9 range.
Right. And it's per quarter. So
right.
And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, athletic director, coach, look at the intervention plan, even principal, if they want to get involved in, it's like, he or she's not doing what she's supposed to do, so we're going to sit that kid and they're deemed ineligible for that quarter.
So this is the problem that I had because we all went to DPS. So it's like if kids isn't going to take, I guess, class seriously, what makes people think they're going to take study hall or whatever serious? So like what are some of those requirements or perimeters that's in place and that they have to, accomplish, whether if they have to, make sure they get all their work assignments done before they go to the practice field. Like and
that's a great question. And then that's when I have coaches put some skin in the game too. Yeah. Like make coaches hold their kids accountable. Yeah, you want to win games, but guess what? This is your program. And like I tell my coaches, I came from a corporate background. I mean, I understand how sports go. Mm-hmm. So I kind of run it like a business. I'm the CEO of it all. And football, basketball, baseball, softball, cheerleading, whatever it is.
Oh, that's got to feel good. He said CEO. That feel amazing.
But that's a division. That's a division of Western Hills Incorporated, where I'm the athletic director at. Mm-hmm. So the basketball coach said, hey, look, you got a kid with all D's. You might have 3 kids with all D's in your program. So what you got to do is you got to make sure these kids are staying on task, going to class, and doing what they're supposed to do because you're over that program. I'm giving you autonomy of it. I don't micromanage. I'm pretty hands-off. Some ADs will micromanage. Some principals will. That's how your leadership style is. But for me is, you got the program, you run it, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then we talk about it. And then I got the ability to monitor that stuff. So we have software to do that stuff now, like Power School or whatever it is that school district uses where I can pay attention what a kid's progress is. And we also try to keep tabs on that kid. Communication is key. So emailing teachers, letting teachers know like, hey, this is one of the kids that's struggling. Let me know what's going on so we can make sure that they are adhering to their intervention plan.
See, but that all goes back to an AD or a coach just actually caring. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of times they just don't even care. It's just almost like I go to work and get a check. You know what I mean?
But here's
and
the
it's
thing.
sad because
we don't want to generalize.
No, I'm not saying though.
I see what you're saying, but the checks aren't that great. I'm in the public school system, and actually Dayton pays more than CPS does. But I'm in the public school system, and whenever I hire coaches or whenever I'm working with a coach in my program, the thing I realize, I don't care if you can win games. I want to make sure that you're a good person.
Right.
I want to make sure that you're making the right decision. So if we need to have these type of interventions or these type of discussions, we're going in the best interest of the program, the district, and that young person.
Now, that's important, that winning the games is secondary to winning at life. Like, you want to set them up to succeed once they leave CPS.
And that was my thing. Yeah. Like, how are we setting kids up to win at life with this new rule? Because I get the whole thing.
I'm gonna let you get it out. I got a rebuttal to that.
Like, I get the whole thing. Like, kids, can get into all types of trouble, this and another.
And that's the other thing because we've seen it. We are off on the west side of Dayton, and we've seen kids that had talent that were deemed ineligible, and they couldn't practice. They couldn't be around the program. And it's at your athletic director's discretion. I'm just like, look, they can't practice. They suit up on Fridays or Tuesdays, whenever you guys' games are. You suit up. We're going to have a problem. But have that kid around, have them getting the structure that they need so they can be productive, so they won't get in that type of trouble.
And see, once I was provided with that, it wasn't new information, it was explained information, I would say. So once I was provided that, one name came to my mind, which was Leon Tucker. And I thought about him, who was a great athlete who became ineligible, and his life changed completely.
Man, listen,
and I just thought about what if he was able to get back on the field? How would his life be changed for the better?
Dude, I got a real life Wednesday story, bro. Like he was on a straight and narrow, playing sports, playing football, everything was smooth. And then he got ineligible, and then he was in our Spanish class. Man, he came in our class, bro, and literally was like a completely different person. Like he transformed. He had on like a RIP shirt over like a baggy hoodie, man, and it was just crazy. Like it's almost like evil was just spewing from his eyes, man. And he was only in school maybe for a week, and then after that, I've never seen him since. You know what I mean? It's been 10, 11 years since I seen dude, and it's just crazy because if he wasn't ineligible, who knows what would happen to him. And the thing about it is, I wish there was a stat out there that would tell you, what happens to, or how many of these kids are dead in jail, or just down bad after they're ineligible.
There's one other thing I
see.
That's a slippery slope we fight, and that's funny that you talk about Leon Tucker. I went to elementary school with Leon, and Leon, I'm telling you, like you said, like his life changed. Leon was an animal. Would go sideline to sideline. Like I remember, I used to play JV with Leon. This was when I was playing safety. Dude cleaned up all the messes. I'm like, I hit nobody. I can just get interceptions. Cool.
Right.
But long and short of it though, like his life did change because he wasn't around the program, and he got a chance to get idle time to just do things he had no business doing, or be around things he had no business being around.
And one thing I want to make sure I say, sorry Nate to cut you off, is that this is the one thing that I learned in college. Obviously, I learned more than one thing, but this is the one thing I learned throughout my life. When you talk about ineligible players, I know that there's a lot of people out there that say, well, they don't take school seriously, so why should we give them sports? Or they don't take the classroom and wanting to learn the material seriously, so why should we give them sports? But college has taught me that a lot of times when you are failing, it's not about the fact that you don't take it seriously, it's that you have to learn how you learn. So I know which way I learn best. So that way, when I receive material, I turn that material into the way, into the method that I can receive.
And Jay Will was funny about that. It took you all the way to the end of college to learn
because
that, right?
I wasn't taught that in school.
It's crazy that you say that. I didn't learn how, we're going a little off topic. I didn't learn how to learn until I was pledging. When they would give you a bunch of information, hey, you got to learn this in one night. I'm not somebody who learns things when I hear them.
Me either,
I'm somebody who learns things visually. So, like, when I was trying to get my information down, I would write things over and over again. I had a tape recorder and all this type of stuff, so I can try to visualize it. So that's funny that you say that.
Yeah, I can see both sides of the story. I understand, like, if you take sports away, that they have no focus, they don't care, they can just straight a different path in their life. But at the same time, if you continue to give them sports, what is the incentive for them to raise their GPA? Because at the end of the day,
it's the sports.
But here's the incentive.
If you follow,
hold on, before you go. But you can give them sports for another 2-3 months. Because football is over in with November. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they still can straight. So it's like, what is the incentive for them to go to class to improve your GPA? Like, because you can have an all-star athlete, if he still got a 1.4 or 1.3, he's not going to college.
No, it's good that you say that, though, because the incentive is trying to get them to the next level. So they are on the intervention plan, and then they understand when recruiters come, or if they're really that good an athlete, you don't have what you need on the sliding scale, so we're not going to be able to accept you. However, there's a junior college that might be able to accept you. There's an AIA or Division II or Division III.
And all those things are still available if you're eligible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So... And in those 2 or 3 months, man, I guarantee it's a lot of kids that die. You know what I mean? No, I mean you make the screw face, but it's real, bro.
And the thing is,
bro, somebody got killed on my mom's street the other day. That was 22, bro.
I can see both sides of it, but part of that is his lifestyle, and I'm not going to necessarily blame it on.
And Nate, I feel you. I see what you're saying too. Like I do see what you're saying, but as far as like keeping kids like busy, what we try to do is, keep everything regimented and keep them on that same path. So if you're playing football Monday through Thursday, you know you're going to study tables from 2:30 to 3:30, and then from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock you're going to practice, and then from there on Friday nights you playing, you getting the team meal, you doing all that stuff. Like we're trying to keep you busy so you can stay away from all that stuff.
And that's my
eligible or not.
That's my thing. I just want to make sure that it's things in place to make sure that they're staying on the right
And that's
path.
why I rebutted to you and said that, like, when you say it like that, you make it seem as if you're looking for 100% success rate.
I don't expect
and
that.
I don't think it'll be 100%.
I don't expect the 100% success rate because you don't get that anywhere.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that there are requirements in place and we're not just lowering this standard so they can stay eligible and we can win a ball game.
And that's the thing. Like, people are like, well, DPS is doing this, DPS is doing that. It's like, listen, if you do your math and you do your research and you start digging, it's not DPS. It's from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. That's the governing body who runs everything, and that's up in Columbus.
And one last thing I do want to add is that it's crazy how there's other districts just in the Dayton area, suburbs of Dayton, that have the exact same program as far as the 1.0 and then the prevention program and everything like that. So, but it's just crazy that DPS didn't come out and say, like, you know, the full story. It's irresponsible for them by them. And I just feel like, you know, they let me down as a alumni from it and all of us, and it's just sad, man.
But then you got alumni like me who can break it down. But again, that goes back to what I said originally. Your public affairs team got to have your back. Your public affairs team got to be able to spin things and sell things. When your public affairs team just tells them, oh, yeah, we changed it to a 1.0. And here's another little thing about people who don't know about, like, school boards and stuff like this. Everything's public record. So every time the school board meeting happens, do your Googles. It's all right there.
Do your Googles. I love it.
It is all...
Shout out to Fredro Stone.
It is all right there.
Do your Googles.
It is all right there. The minutes are in... I mean, every school board meeting, there are minutes that are available for you, regardless of the district. We just in DPS weren't wise enough to spin it in a way where it didn't make it look like our district is failing our kids.
DPS
after he said do your Googles, when I couldn't feel like that.
DPS been dropping the ball a lot lately.
Yes,
well,
they have.
I appreciate you, Chuck, for enlightening us all. And like I said, when I received the new information, my opinion changed. I know we didn't get into a lot of NFL, but I promise we don't get into NFL in the third quarter. But Cartier, who we got coming up in halftime?
Man, we got my man another one. You know what I'm saying? From my man Flynn Fever. He gonna give y'all one more. That's the name of the track, man. It's hot. Listen to it.
You are now in the mix with Cartier King.
Pressure push me forward, to the top is where I'm going. It's permanently snowing, I'm the motherfucking coldest. I'm a living legend, I'm the one and only Lord chosen. Since I started, I've been waiting on this moment. Time to give them one more. Yeah, one more. Yeah, one more. Yeah, inhale, exhale, roll up. I will blunt and I light it. I switch the flow when they bite it. I like to go when I write it. I know I'm not hottest. I write it, record it, and drop it. Write it, record it, and drop it. I get it, I got it. I don't need no help from nobody. Fuck 'em, I told 'em I got 'em. I'm turning my losses to profit. I bet it can fit. I'ma stick the whole bank in my pocket. I'm solid, I promise. You gotta be poppin'. Sold all that dope, all you got is some robins. Risking your life to look like everybody. My nigga, you better off robbing. Ain't chasing these bitches, they all wanna kick it. I'm sorry, I don't know karate. I don't got no debit or got good credit, but I get that direct deposit. Elevated, roll up, getting medicated. I'm smoking loud, hear the scent. Educated, nigga, this premeditated. I know I'm killing this shit. I heard your tape, I wasn't feeling that shit. I get so high, I don't fucking exist. I break out a zip when I walk in the VIP. How you fucking with me? You ain't fucking with this. I've been cold for a long time. Yeah, ice cold for a long time. For real, I had holes in the lunch line. Used to damn near die when I walked by. No lie, 12th grade, I was that guy. Drop a tape sold out by lunchtime. Same little niggas want to be me then. Still trying, ain't did it right one time. I ain't had no cosign. I just gave out black eyes. 10 years throwing punchlines. Let me get what's mine. I knock 'em out on the first round. Always, not sometime. But my resume long as your life story. How could I lie be your life story? I'm shining like 17 lights on me. I hit the game winner, I'm Robert Ory switch. Pressure push me forward, to the top is where I'm going. It's permanently snowing, I'm the motherfucking coldest. I'm a living legend, I'm the one and only Lord chosen. Since I started, I've been waiting on this moment. Time to give them
Winners are made in the second half. What are you made of? Show me what you got in the third quarter.
Y'all really got to show me what y'all got in the third quarter, because this may be a long quarter, and I apologize, but we got a lot to get to. So we talked about the Dayton Public Schools GPA last quarter, but this quarter there has been more news that broke with the head basketball coach, which is one of the best coaches ever in Dayton Public Schools. He
No,
got
not DPS, Ohio, period.
one of the best coaches in Ohio. How many titles he got in basketball?
Four.
How many women's?
Since 2000, what, 5, 6?
2006.
So he's been downgraded from head coach to volunteer, and we have one of his mentees sitting with us. So I want to get your thoughts, man. What was your initial thought when you heard about the Coach Pullen of Dayton Dunbar?
Complete travesty.
Yeah.
Peter Pullen, that is.
Complete travesty. It was very upsetting to me. And like you said, like I'm one of his mentees. I was one of his former students. And when I heard it, I was just like, you don't push a legend out. Now, last year when all this stuff came up with the eligibility and all that, I thought about it. I was like, well, you know what? If they let him go this year, I can understand it. Why? Because of the eligibility, because that's on his watch. He dropped the ball. But he got past that. He resigned from the AD. And we've had conversations with ourselves, amongst ourselves about his health, about a few other things. He's just like, I got 2 years, if that. And this was 2 years ago. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be his last year. So when I heard this, I was just like, man, are you serious? And I'm going to give you a rundown. 13 seasons as Dunbar's head coach, 289-54, 4 state Division II championships, 6 Final Fours, and 6 seasons as the girl coach, 109-29, 44-0 city record. Let's do that math here. I'm not doing any math, but that's a lot of wins to a lot of losses.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's 4 state championships going back to the state. To the west side of Dayton.
And let me add to that. I think 11 D1 players, 2 NBA players.
Yeah, man.
Come on, son.
His accolades.
And there's still guys in college that could possibly make the NBA.
Exactly. And then last year he was 1 game away from going back to Columbus again. So I'm of the thing. If the game passes you by as a legend, i.e. Bobby Bowden, Joe Paterno, but that's another story for another day. If I have Joe Paterno unceremoniously at Penn State. But if the game passes you by, I get that. The game hadn't passed Pete by
At all.
Trotwood gave him the fade last year, but he was still a game away from playing for another state championship.
Bro, he did get iced though.
He did, but still, he was there.
Yeah,
So in 13
years, was there.
it got to the point where we like shit.
Shout out to Aiken.
It got to the point where we making
Get ice.
we making trips to go to Columbus every year in March. We know what it is.
Yeah, that's the standard.
we reserving rooms. You hear me? Like
Exactly. And then to win.
I like how you said we with with
Right,
the Mustang shirt on. We. I
Hey
like,
man, I'm a Dunbar Wolverine
Mustang
until it's over.
mentality.
Yeah.
Until it's over. But as far as the 6 Final Fours go, like that's getting out of Dayton, which is probably the toughest region in the state to get out of, Division II.
Facts.
Luke Kennard, who was a first-round NBA draft pick, couldn't get out of Dayton ever. Think
Ever.
about that.
That is
ever.
true.
This is one of the all-time leading scorers in the state. He couldn't get out ever.
Because of who?
Dunbar. Dayton Public School teams because he lost to Dunbar
he
one
lost
year
Thurgood.
and he lost to Thurgood the year before. So getting out, you run it into schools like Taft, Wyoming. Guys, Alter, CJ. These are some of the better
I
programs
saw
in the state.
Thurgood pick Kennard apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
And even against Dunbar, he shot 40 free throws and he still couldn't win. That's what's crazy.
it was 8-on-5 that night. We were all there. It was 8-on-5. But going back to
he's
Pullen,
no Diebler, huh?
Diebler put a
Nah.
54 spot up on us. But going back to Pullen though, like it's crazy that he got kicked out the way he did, and I'm not saying forced that he got kicked out the way he did, and I just feel terrible about it.
But what's crazy though is that there's a petition out there that you all can sign. So go ahead and do that.
But you know what, man? Like, how much work does petitions do?
It worked
What-
for Darren Powell.
We got Darren Powell.
Yeah, but-
so let me ask you, because there was a lot of effort put in by Dunbar. You said if you're class of 01, somehow you are family with class of 08. So
You are.
a lot of that, helped our football coach. To be honest, I don't see a lot of that energy left for this basketball coach.
Unfortunately, I think Pullen was polarizing, and we all got connections to Dunbar alums. And for some reason, he was met with mixed feelings. Pullen's not, I ain't gonna say a different type of guy, but Pullen, once he has his guys, he's not somebody who goes out and seeks approval or anything like that. So Pullen's his own dude, and he got his own staff. And I think that rubbed people the wrong way. But there should be an outcry support for Pullen. But again, Pullen's one of them guys, a different guy. Hey, man, this is what it is. This is what they said. This was going to be. I'm going to go about my way.
Only thing about Pullen that he needed was a little bit of water, man. You know what I mean?
No,
just
he
needed,
he don't need
he needed
no
a little,
he didn't.
he needed a little bit of
water,
gin and
man.
tonic. and a right hook for Tony's face.
So
You was
No,
there.
here's the thing.
You was
this
there.
This has been a program.
Shout out TD.
This has been a program
06.
littered with talent. And I said this before, and I put this on the internet. It's like they always had talent, but they didn't have the right captain to right the ship.
so nationwide, I'm gonna switch the topic real quick. We did this last week with college football. Now it's the pros' turn. They kick off this Sunday, man. And I really want to know. You don't have to give me your Super Bowl picks, but I want to know who's gonna be the standout. And for me, right now. And it could be because, his dad played for my team in the Broncos, McCaffrey. But, Christian McCaffrey and what he's doing
He's nice.
for the Panthers. Oh, my God. And I didn't even expect it. So I'm looking at him as a breakout. But also our hometown team, the Browns, they let go of Brock Osweiler. He came back to the Broncos.
Kaiser.
So what does that mean for Kaiser?
Man.
So give me some NFL previews,
Like
some hot takes,
rookies,
man.
like,
Brock
okay.
Osweiler was back in Denver.
Yeah, he
Back in Denver. Yeah. That's my team, Broncos. Yeah.
Listen, I don't think
Not Jefferson.
Listen, I don't think McCaffrey is the best running back, rookie running back,
Yeah.
but he's in the best situation to succeed. And like playing with Cam Newton and like the different weapons they got, Kelvin Benjamin, Olsen.
Kelvin?
Is
Did
Benjamin
you say
really
Kevin?
that good?
It's Kelvin Benjamin.
It's Kelvin.
I thought you said Kevin. Okay,
no,
Kelvin.
Hey, I don't think Benjamin.
Nate don't pronounce his L's.
No,
Y'all went to
I mean,
DPS, man.
Right. Well,
No, ain't no y'all. It's him.
He's not
went to Miami
he's
Chapel.
not with everyone else that's in this class. 'Cause he came in with Odell Beckham and Evans in Tampa Bay, so he's not as good as them.
Man.
But at the same time, he's still 6'5", 230.
Man,
and he can get open.
He
He's
a
big
beast,
body.
bro. He blew his knee out for 1 year.
But
Therefore, you just don't
But I
view him in the
mean-
light as Mike Evans.
No, not at all. Mike
Yeah, no,
Evans
no,
is a
yeah.
man.
Like,
M-A-N
yeah.
in all capital letters. And
Him and
Odell.
Odell.
so
that's a different
Mike
class.
Evans, did he make Manziel or did Manziel make him?
Nah, he made Manziel.
He made
made
Manziel.
Manziel.
Because
But-
Manziel would throw prayers and somehow 13 comes up with the ball.
Absolutely. But-
Triple covered.
Absolutely.
Anyways, I like McCaffrey. I like the situation he's in, and I think he's gonna have a big year. Kaiser, he played for the Browns, so he's gonna be terrible. But I like what the Browns is trying to do.
I thought it was too premature. I thought they should have let Osweiler suffer.
Aquala.
I thought they should let Osweiler suffer while.
I mean-
well, I guess he can't learn from
You sound like
Osweiler.
Method
so,
Man.
I mean,
But that
Rockweiler.
deal, when he got traded there, we knew he wasn't going to
Yeah.
be a Brown
No, yeah,
for
yeah,
long
they
because
didn't
of salary cap reasons. And
But the
etc.
crazy thing about this though is that the Browns are so irresponsible, but they still got to pay him all that guaranteed money, man. And
mean-
he ain't even on the team.
But
That's
but
crazy.
think about it, they didn't want him anyways. It's a minimal like salary cap floor
Exactly.
that you have to meet, so they just
That's
traded
what
him
they
to
did.
meet that salary.
I mean,
'cause
I
it's a
get
one-year
it, but they
contract.
could have gave that money to somebody else, man.
But it would have been a long-term deal. They had been
Mm-hmm.
like that the multiple years. I mean, it's hard to say. I like Dalvin Cook. I like Myles Garrett for Cleveland defense end. I think he's
Bro,
gonna be a
this is
beast.
not a rookie.
it doesn't have to be
It
rookies.
doesn't have to be a rookie.
I know,
I'm just
but
naming
I know.
like a lot of things off the top of the head. But
Well, since nationwide,
Super Bowl pick?
since nationwide, I
He just
want to
gave
go
me, like-
straight rookies. I'm gonna give you a rookie.
go ahead.
Zay Jones, man.
Who is
that boy. Who is he?
Yeah.
Wide receiver for the Bills. I understand Tyrod Taylor's head is a little achy right now, but he will be back, and Zay Jones will have over 1,000 yards receiving this year. You heard it here first. Season 2, episode 2 of the ITL.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Hey, but in this NFL, I mean, we can go. I say this being facetious, we can go out there and get 1,000 yards.
Now we can.
You're right, but
Hey, I like the Titans though, man. Mariota played well last year.
did.
They got a solid defense.
Who? Say his name again.
Mariota.
I thought you said Mary Ellis.
Like, you can't hear it, bro.
Yeah, that's on you, Jay Will.
Sorry, I thought he said Mary Ellis.
Mary Ellis.
But I like what they doing. DeMarco Murray, so he's still elite back last year. You got Derrick Henry as the backup. So I think Tennessee in that division is always wide open. So
I'm telling you like
I think
this.
Tennessee
I'm
can
telling you
make
like
some
this.
noise.
Broncos don't have a quarterback, but Jamal Charles is gonna break out for us, and we gonna win our division against the Chiefs and the
how
Raiders.
many knee surgeries has he had?
Like,
Hey, look.
since he been in the NFL.
Hey, he's on that Adrian Peterson surgery.
Hey, but, hey, he looked good though.
Let me tell
You know
y'all.
what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell y'all breakout dude this year. I mean, it's not like we don't know about him. Brandon Marshall, bro. Odell Beckham on the other side.
It's a perfect situation for him to break out. Well, not break out, but for him to
Have a
be effective.
Almost, yeah.
because he
To go back to
he
where
broke
he
out
was
years
at.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he-
I mean, the thing about Eli is that he loves like a Plaxico Bears built receiver, and Brandon Marshall. pretty
Plaxico
much
was his
that.
number one though. I don't think Brandon Marshall will be his number one.
But that's more reason that Brandon Marshall is going to be
I
killing
agree.
because
I think-
the number 2 is going to be checking him.
yeah,
I think Brandon Marshall's gonna have a good year, but What Super Bowl picks? What everybody Super Bowl?
You too early on that. Right
No,
now,
it's not. It's not. Pick your Super Bowl. We can't pick it at like week 8 when people are 7-1.
No.
What's your Super Bowl picks?
I don't want to say it, man.
Man, say
I
it.
don't want to say it because
He said, I want to say the Broncos and the Bengals.
no.
Forget Johnny.
They didn't both say
Go ahead,
conference.
Cartier.
It pains me to say this, but I just think it's perfect timing when we talk about when you are going to succeed in the NFL. Timing makes a difference. I think, unfortunately, the Raiders right now, it's now for them
We could've
to make
saved
this. No. It's now. It's now or never. If they don't make it this year, I don't think it's ever going to happen because the Broncos' defense is always on point. We don't have a quarterback, so I can't pick us to actually go to the Super Bowl because we don't have anyone that's when we're down, somebody's going to lead us to the promised land. But the Raiders, they have that in Derek Carr, and they have the defense, and they have the offensive
Who's
line.
your NFC
So
pick?
the Raiders, the time is now. If they don't make it now, they ain't going to get it. NFC, man, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, right? But when you need the play, and when you need the play to be the winning play, Russell Wilson always gets it done.
Go ahead, Cartier.
He does.
All right, man. So this is an obvious one out the AFC. I got the Raiders.
Yeah,
Of course,
it's
you know,
time.
we got Beast Mode, we got Derek Carr, we got my man Mac, and we got Irvin there playing linebacker. So I mean, we definitely gonna represent the AFC, but then I gotta go to the NFC South, man. This is almost a fugazi pick, but I'm just gonna ride with that right there.
Jameis.
So I don't know if I want to go famous Jameis, Cam Newton, Drew Brees. See, I can see the story of Adrian Peterson getting to his first Super Bowl as almost like a supplemental role, splitting carries with Ingram. So you just never know, man. And I mean, I'm just gonna say the NFC South. I mean NFC South. I'm sorry.
So you put
That's
it
not
on
a
the
real
spot.
pick. That's
But
4 teams you
it's
can
4
choose
teams,
from.
yeah.
You damn
Go
right.
ahead,
I
Sean.
just did that.
I can never go wrong with the Patriots. They're like the San Antonio Spurs of the NFL, man.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
True.
the NFL. Like they just
It's just that the Falcons didn't get the job done last
Hold on,
year.
Chuck, man. You can't be picking the Patriots and used to rock the Dayton View around Dayton View. You know what I'm saying? For
I gotta be
anybody who
unbiased.
don't know what the Dayton View is, it's the Charles Woodson jersey,
Yes,
Raiders.
yes.
Me, Chuck, my brother,
yes, boo,
Boo, Ant, Trey,
everybody,
same person.
everybody.
Everybody had an Oakland Raider jersey, and it was Charles Woodson, and that was officially the Dayton View. So,
And y'all walked it backwards like the
Nah, I didn't
Nelly.
do that.
nah, we're not chingy, bro. This
That
is
was
not crisscross.
But I'm gonna go with the Patriots and the Packers. I thought about Atlanta because their defense is actually not bad either. But I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan too, man. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots and the Packers.
And my choice, man, I think Killer Cam have a bounce back year, so I'm going Carolina, and I hate to say it, Patriots.
Yo, Killer Cam ain't gonna have no bounce back year. He don't get to now be on Cap's side because it's popular to be on his side. I ain't with that. So real quick, top 5 quarterbacks. I told y'all this is gonna be a long quarter, so bear with us. Top 5 QBs, and I'm gonna give y'all mine.
Top five.
So number 1, Aaron Rodgers. This guy, as Stephen A. say, is a bad man. Drop a bad man if you got it queued up.
oh man,
No, he don't have
Stephen
to
A's
do
a
that.
clown, man.
Yo, he's
Damn,
a bad
that's a
man.
long ad
Yeah,
lib.
he's a bad man. Number 2, Tom Brady. You know, Father Time don't lose to nobody. But the reason why I put Aaron Rodgers ahead of him is because Brady is your typical. He's not typical, but he's a pocket QB. If things don't go right, you know, he start, you know, shoveling shoes back there. He don't really
Shoveling shoes.
He don't
Here's the
really
thing, though, Johnny.
create anything.
He don't get suspended 4 games last year. He's the MVP.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Well, we ain't talking about last year.
You can say that every year.
Yeah, true that. But I'm talking about throws and what I got up and demonstrated the fact that when your feet are not set, he still hits it on target, which is Aaron Rodgers. Now, Drew Brees, number 3. You know, these are 3 guys that can carry an organization. Now, in my number 4, when you need the play and you need to get the winning play, this guy somehow comes up big, even though he's short, and that's Russell Wilson. He gets the job done. That's my number 4.
He probably still stands for Shizzle too.
And number 5, I went back and forth with. And Russell Wilson took Sierra, so he got to be number 4. But number 5, I went back and forth with. But my number 5 is Andrew Luck. And I was kind of on the
All
fence
right,
with
bruh.
that.
All right. So
no,
let
no.
me give you my top
no,
five.
no, no.
for Andrew
Go.
Luck.
No.
But he does a lot of things. Him and Jameis just be like,
Now, here's the thing.
what were you looking at?
No. Here's the thing.
Jameis can't see.
With Andrew Luck, when he was a starting QB, so was Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson was asked to throw the ball 15 to 18 times. Andrew Luck, as a rookie, threw it 52 times in a
Check.
game, and he
Hey,
had to carry that team.
check.
He
That's
still
not
don't.
my fault.
He still had to carry that team.
That's not my fault.
So listen,
That's not my fault.
yeah, listen.
Nationwide.
That's my top five.
Nationwide, what five you got, bro? Let's get a quick
Number
five. 'Cause
one,
Jay Will wanted to elaborate.
Sorry,
I hate
sorry.
to say I'm gonna go Brady. I'm not a Patriot fan, so I hate to say it. 2, Rodgers. 3, Breeze. 4, I'm gonna go Russell Wilson, and 5, Cam.
Also me.
Chuck, what you got?
All right, I was with Johnny for a while. So I got Rodgers, 1. It's like 1A and 1B to tell you the truth. It's Rodgers and Brady. But I think Brady's the best quarterback of all time, but we can talk about that later. But currently, present day, is Rodgers, Brady, Breeze. I got Ben 4.
Yeah,
That's good.
I mean, he makes it happen somehow, some way. And then I guess,
Raper.
hey man, what you do
he
off
just
the field
passed
is
his
what you
time,
do.
man.
And then I got Matt Ryan number 5.
Come
So,
on.
you know,
That Super Bowl don't put him.
Nah,
top five.
Matt Ryan. I've been a fan of Matt Ryan for a while. And a real close 6, Cameron Jarrell Newton. Real close 6.
All right,
all right.
Cartier.
I mean, my list doesn't include any smugglers. So,
My six would have been Derek
don't
Carr,
say no
by the
Raider
way.
neither.
I like Derek
Yeah.
Carr too.
so what I gotta say is, number one, I gotta bring it in for the Tuck rule. I gotta go Derek Carr.
Fake news.
All right, then I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers. He a bad man. Tom Brady sitting at 3. Killer Cam at 4. And my 5th, man, I'm gonna round it out with Big Ben. So
Time out.
So it's clear that you picked
Time out.
fantasy
Time out.
points.
Time out. Did you say Derek Carr is number 1?
He picked fantasy
Man,
points
come on, let's-
clearly.
He's a
let's not
Raiders
be
fan,
Homer,
so-
bro. Let's
I'm not being a homer, bro. All I'm saying is, at the end of the season, when you look at the stats and everything
Listen.
like that, Derek Carr will lead the league and everything that
Hey, how many
matters.
Super Bowls did Tom Brady have?
I don't care. I'm talking
How many Super Bowls
about
did Tom Brady have?
no, bruh.
How
The
many-
Super Bowls don't matter when we're
Bruh.
talking about
1,
top
2,
5 this
3,
year.
Listen.
4, 5.
How
Nationwide.
many MVPs do Aaron Rodgers have?
How many?
So how can you put Derek Carr number 1?
Okay, I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Derek Carr is definitely not
you
number
have a misinterpretation of questions. Earlier you started with the Cavs, and now you're going with top 5 quarterbacks. What I'm saying is top 5 is meaning who's going to perform the best this year. Okay. And I gave you my 5,
Down for
and
sure
that's
gonna be Derek
facts.
Carr.
Okay, but that's your opinion. But what you're talking about is the past, okay? And that goes into greatest of all time. So you can just hush that ish right now.
And
Pretty much, bruh.
Reckley, that's our top 5. Please feel free to comment on our post and let us know y'all top 5. But next quarter, we talking about the culture and we talking about guy code. I kind of alluded to that earlier. Stay tuned.
Who has the heart to be clutch? This is the difference between good and great. Finish strong. 4's up.
Shout out to all my Insecure fans out there on HBO. And there's a lot of people out there that are on the Lawrence Hive. But this made me think about guy code. So since we're a sports-related podcast, I'm thinking of a few sports people that broke guy code. And Nate, unfortunately, they're all Laker fans or all Laker
I
players.
thought you was pointing to me like, oh, bro.
No. Nate, they're all Laker players, and you're a Laker
Hold
fan.
on,
So-
man.
No, Chuck,
Hold
who's your
on.
NBA team, by the way?
Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls. Okay.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Does Nationwide have on a shirt under this hoodie?
Yes, I do.
He's butt naked.
Boy, I thought he was. I'm like, my man's sitting over beside me,
So-
naked.
So Nationwide, the most recent Laker to break guy code, D'Angelo Russell, videotaped was it for the snap or whatever it was
It's
for?
Snap.
It was for the
Vince
snap.
Young going over his Holodex.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Time out.
Nick Young.
Nick Young for his by the fourth quarter, alcohol takes
He
over.
said VY.
Takes it, but he was snapping Nick Young. And then we had Kobe Bryant who talking about Shaq did it too.
Whoa. Let's stop disrespecting a legend. That's way.
Yeah.
Way
Shaq
back.
did it too.
Why
But
you bringing up old stuff?
I also
wait,
want to
wait,
talk
wait,
to
wait.
you
He a
about
raper.
I also want to talk to you about another guy that broke guy code, Derek Fisher. You dating a teammate's baby mama.
Whoa.
Is there ever a perfect time?
Listen, tell me. I agree with you on D'Angelo Russell and Kobe. I'm not Derek Fisher. That's fair game.
Hey, one thing I realized though, going back to local legends, when
Yeah.
you asked me this, Just because you teammates, you're not friends.
Right. Exactly.
I realized because I would ask guys like, "Hey, so what about him? What about him? Do y'all still talk?" Nah, not really. Like just because you work in the same place, that don't mean you're
Hey, I
friends with
hear
that person.
that, but I don't have to be your friend to understand the code. I could be an associate and understand the code that I ain't got nothing to do with your business. And the reason why I reference Insecure is because there's a lot of Lawrence Hive, and let's be honest,
I ain't seen
even
it yet,
though
so you know what you
Issa
talking
did
about.
her thing, my guy Lawrence was unemployed for 2
Listen, I
years.
never
So
seen the
Hey,
show.
he didn't do
Lawrence
it.
is actually turning into a sucker.
Yeah, you know,
Lawrence the keys.
exactly.
Because
So-
you know, like us as dudes, like we talk about how the game go, blah 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 blah. Yeah, Issa did what she did, but Lawrence is still acting like a sucker. Like she held down the fort. You had rent, you had food,
Exactly.
you had all that. Like, bro, you got to take this stuff into account, man.
Exactly.
I never
So
seen
nationwide,
it,
is
so
there
go ahead.
ever an appropriate time being a Laker fan? All these Lakers broke guy code. Is there ever an appropriate time to break guy code?
Yeah. Like personally, I would never break
That
it.
was so easy.
Man, he getting
Yeah,
the
no,
face right now, man. Man, this brother tripping.
It's super easy for me because my answer is simple. I would break Geico if I had a sister. If I had a sister or like a cousin that was really close to, then I'm breaking it.
Does
Other than
guy
that-
code
But you lead
serve
the league.
family?
You lead the league in brothers.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
right. It should be easy, right?
So what if you show up to the movies one day and be like, "Hey, Nate 3,
And listen,
I see your woman at the movie."
Right.
I got all brothers, no sisters. So, like I said, if I had a sister or a super close cousin, I would break Geico. Other than that, I'm not. It ain't none of my business. I'm not saying nothing. So you know.
That's what that's a guy code. Like, and when it comes to, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in. Like, I got a bunch of frat brothers, and I got a brother of my own, but I got a bunch of frat brothers. If I see somebody doing dirt, if I see somebody being where it's not supposed to be, I'm gonna turn my head.
Yeah, it ain't
That's not
none
my
of
business because I never wanted to get back. Like, hey, Chuck told me this, Chuck told me that.
It ain't none of my
You
business.
ain't nope. My name's not gonna be a part of that.
Ain't none
So
of
the
my
guy
business.
code is that we don't want to be involved. I would give you this information. I would gladly give it to you.
There are a lot of guys who don't follow that guy code because a lot of
Man.
stuff gets back to me.
What?
And I hear stuff. I'm like, this. He said what?
Check. It's a lot of dudes out here that pillow talk.
Man, listen. Yeah.
Well, you know what the pillow talk, the purpose of the pillow talk is.
To get them skins.
Is to get them skin.
Bruh, if you gotta do all that to to GTD,
Shout out to Tommy Strong.
you a sucker, man.
You ain't got no job.
So
Yeah, if you gotta throw a dude under the bus at GTD, man, like you in the wrong line of work, bruh.
So it's ironic to me that a guy on this show with all brothers, it's easy for him to break guy code.
Yeah,
Because he's saying if no. You said your point, bro. You said your point.
I said if I had a sister, I
Hey,
don't have
hey.
a goddamn sister.
No,
so
I heard
I'm not
easy.
breaking it.
But you
Cartier.
got a cousin. I forgot your cousin's name that y'all real close to.
Kiana.
Yeah. Yeah, Kiana. That's another one.
That if I had a cousin,
But
that
Kiana.
yeah, hey.
Did Chuck think about his text he sent to her? Oh yeah, Kiana, yeah.
Nah, I don't know no Kiana. Nah, Kiana's Derek's sister, so I know it. Like,
Wait, what you say now, Chuck? So Cartier, you got all brothers. Is it easy for you?
Nah, it's never easy, but
That's the toughest thing in the world.
I mean, Nationwide do got a point. I mean, that's the only time I could ever see it. But
I don't think that classifies as guy code though when it's family.
yeah, I mean, I feel you. Beyond that, no. Nah, I mean, I can never see that ever. You know, I mean, it's like he said, it's not my business at all. And at the end of the day, it's like if you do, you know, then you just gonna have to catch the fade. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Now, here's a story I want to tell about guy code. So this was long time ago. I've been married 2 years. I've been
He
with
said,
her
let's
since.
get that.
I've been with her.
Let's get
that out.
I've been with her since 6. So this is a long time ago.
It was
Shout out to
before
Bernie
6,
Mac.
yeah, you know.
But this was, I had no, obviously there was nothing about guy code, but I followed it inadvertently. I didn't realize that I was following it. So here's the thing about guy code. There was a chick I was talking to, and my thing was I wasn't gonna bash her dude. Her and her dude was going through some things, and I wasn't gonna bash her. That was not my MO. I don't know what y'all going through. I'm not gonna speak ill of dude. So I was trying to holler at her, and it was some other guys trying to holler at her as well. At the end of the day, I won. I got her, and when she told me the reason why she chose me was because out of everybody that was trying to holler at her, I was the one that never like dogged her her current boyfriend out.
I think that's
and I was just like, wow, I didn't even realize I was not doing that. That just wasn't me.
Dating
like,
dudes know how the game go.
Yeah.
Like, it's something about us. It's like inherent. Like we know how the game goes.
Something about it.
Yeah.
No,
It's a point. It's period.
Facts.
Like
That's
just
facts.
the thing about dating dudes is that we more laid back. We more play the chill role, and then at the end of the day, what it is.
Funny thing is about my mindset was
girls.
Like, I don't want to bring him up because I want you to forget about him. Think about me.
I don't want to talk about another dude.
I ain't trying to talk about him. Think about me.
A lot of girls from other cities just in college, they realize that a lot of dudes be fugazi and be extra, and then they be like, man, who is that over there in that peacoat looking all?
Nah, not Pico. Who that dude in that polo?
Nah.
In that polo hat.
Who that dude in that what's that? In that 8-ball jacket over there from Burlington. Who that over there, that 8-ball? But no, it's funny that he say that because when I went to my freshman year was spent at Kentucky State, when I arrived on campus, when I said I was from Dayton, all of a sudden I became popular. And I ain't know nobody. I just was from Dayton, so they treated me on a pedestal, and I was just like, man, the people from Dayton that came here before me must have set the bar high because y'all treat me like royalty for some reason. I was only here for a semester and I bailed, but like it was just like when I said I was from, like nobody said nothing to me.
Season
when
one,
I said I was from Dayton,
episode.
Yeah, and it was all of a
15,
sudden it was changed.
This is why Johnny didn't get his self beat up. It's I guess because of these precedents that was set by previous Dayton representatives.
Yeah, because once everybody found out I was from
Dayton.
Dayton, like the way I was treated changed, and it was just like
He said every time I went to Walmart, it was like freak
hey,
Oreos.
I got free steak and shake. It was like, yo, you need a swipe at the,
Hey, shout out to the swipes. Shout out to them swipers out there.
For real.
But
we miss y'all.
So back to the guy code though. I don't hear from y'all. Y'all got to give me examples of like when would you break it?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Like I'm a type of dude who take things. No, I've taken things to the grave, and I've even like
you dead.
No.
He said he took it to the grave.
No, Uzi here. But I will take things to the grave just because, like, I'm just not that type of dude, though. I just can't do it because, A, I can't live with it. And it's just like, I don't like throwing people under the bus. And I know I've been thrown under the bus 1,000 times.
Well, let me just say this, man. I believe in karma, man.
That's because you got good picks. So
I believe
these guys.
This is true. I'm a hell of a GM.
I believe in karma, right? So, I mean, it's not my job to throw him under the bus. And I feel like, it's going to come back on him. And whatever happens. So I feel like from the things that I've experienced and seen from afar, it always works out, So shout out to all you deadbeat dads.
Oh wow!
That's a whole different conversation.
It's child support day.
I would never throw anybody under the bus.
He made it sound like he was hollering at baby mamas.
Right.
No, I wasn't hollering at baby mamas. What I'm saying is that the thing about it is just like at the time.
He said, "Come
she
get
was
your
with
goddamn
him.
kids so I can kick it with your baby mom."
Right.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right, Nationwide, go ahead.
Nah, I'm not breaking guy code like I said unless it's family.
All right, so before we wrap it up, I just want to get a quick
Lies
take
told
in
on
regards
Twitter.
to your Laker people.
Lies told on Twitter.
But I know you had some questions for Chuck before we wrap it up. So, Chuck, what you got coming up, man?
Man, I got a lot coming up. Starting in October, we're not starting in October. We're going to our 6th year of the Black Alumni Homecoming at my alma mater, as y'all know, the Ohio State University. Hey, you brothers are on me, so y'all come up. Your dates, your wives.
Is it black tie?
Yeah, we got the Black Tie Affair October 6th at the Hollywood Casino, and it's going into our 6th year.
Oh,
yeah. Well, do your craps before or after, but we need you to come to the party and have fun, and we got a bar guarantee to meet, so I need you to drink up too.
Where is the Hollywood Casino?
Hollywood Casino's on the west side of town. I encourage people to do their Googles. My phone's away from me right now, so I can't give you the address. But and then we got a day party on Saturday. Actually, before even the day party, we have a game watch party.
Cool.
At Penn's. Penn's is on.
What game we watching?
I don't know. That would be the Ohio State Rutgers game.
Penn's is the name of it?
Yeah, Penn's is the place. That's what the game watch party will be. Well, I'll be watching the game at the game. That's just me though. And then we got a day party after that. To be determined where that venue is going to be at. And then we got a night party as well, and that's going to be at the Brick downtown Columbus. And then after that, we have a volunteer day for those alumni who want to give back. That's the thing. Like us as young professionals and young black professionals, we don't give back. There are people who paved the way for us. True. There are people who done things for us, and we always forget about them. And that's my thing. Like I always like to give back. I've always been that type of person. Hence local legends. Hence all that other stuff. So we got Ohio State homecoming first weekend of October, October 6th through the 8th. I could have my dates wrong, but that's when it is, that first weekend of October. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then going back to the giving back piece, we got the Norris Cole High Top Classic. I am the person who is the chair of that, and that's going to be November 25th at Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School. We got about 12 teams that are going to be playing in that. So we got Western
22 Richard Avenue.
No, it's not 22 Richie Avenue. It's on All Britain. But yeah, I feel you.
Yes.
It is funny because I use that as a code for the local legends in 1 year as far as discounted tickets. But because that's what we all know what it is.
I'm gonna type that in this year.
Exactly. But I mean, the Norris Cole High Top Classic. It's the foundation games that we're doing with the Norris Cole Foundation. We got a lot of good teams. We got Western Hills, Alter, Winton Woods, Springfield, Versailles, Centerville, Indianapolis, Broad Ripple, Dunbar, Thurgood, Marshall, Sydney, and we were looking for one more team. So I've been in talks with Princeton right now. Princeton has a top 10 recruit. So all those teams that we named have a good reputation as far as high school basketball goes. So we want to get people in the building for that. We haven't got the communications all the way out there too, but we're still looking for sponsors and all that stuff too. So if you're a sponsor, you're interested, or if you're a vendor, you're interested in coming over to Dunbar on November 25th, we'd love to have you over there. Games are going to tip off at 10, and then we're going to have our headlining game, and it's going to be Dunbar and Broad Ripple at 8:30. So I got a few irons in the fire outside of my real
job. How
do
people get in contact with you if they want to sponsor? How do they buy tickets and things like that?
I won't give you my number on the podcast. However, I'm big into social media. So on the Facebook or the Book of Faces, I'm Chuck Richardson. So go ahead and slide in them DMs. And then also on Instagram, I am Chuck with 2 Ks, Rich1. So CHUCKK, Rich, and the number 1 if people are interested in doing that stuff. And that goes to homecoming, and that goes also to the Norris Cole High Top Classic. And then for homecoming, we have an Instagram handle that's OSU Black Tie Affair.
Nice.
I feel like I just talked a lot real fast.
Nah, you good. You good.
They can always rewind. They can always rewind.
This is also true.
Yeah.
So I had a couple questions. As far as volunteering, do you have to be an OSU alum?
Not at all.
Okay.
Come one, come all. You know, we want to give back to our people. We're cleaning up the Linden community, which is on the north side of Columbus, not too far from Cleveland Avenue. And if you know anything about the north side of Columbus, it's littered with like crime, gang activity, and things of those nature. So what we want to do is just let people know that us OSU alumni are coming back, and we want to give back to that community because Ohio State is on the north side of town, and it kind of gets swept under the rug that all that stuff that goes on over there because Ohio State's right there. But we want to give back to those people who are in that community.
Pretty much it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say it's dangerous, man. And I say this all the time. Like, no matter what, crime has no address.
Right.
So right now, we're recording this in the burbs. However, there could be some guys from the city who want to do what they do and come out here. God forbid they don't. But
I know a few already.
Don't let that deter y'all. Please,
but crime
please volunteer.
Crime still has no address, though.
What's your second question, Cartier?
Can Rich Taste be a part of the vendors?
Yeah. Have Rich Taste call.
Shout out to Rich Taste Catering, the best food you ever eat in your life. Shout out to G Rich.
Rich Taste Catering will be doing my my wedding rehearsal dinner, and also the sole proprietor of Rich Taste Catering will be a groomsman in my wedding too. Shout out to G.
Shout out to the Ashy Hands.
Write them vows and let them tears fall. But Chuck, I will say this, man, to close it out. I appreciate you for joining us because you provided a lot of insight and a lot of explanation to a lot of questions that were had on social media. So hopefully those people tune in to listen. And for our listeners who are not even in the state of Ohio, hopefully they are enlightened and just in case their school districts take the same approach. But as always, you can follow us on the.itl on Instagram. Make sure you follow me at jwill_Graham. And again, if you are listening to this and you think we're amateurs, you're right. If you're listening to this and you're thinking we're professionals, you're right as well. We are the amateur professionals. Shout out to the Rec League. This is the Intramural League.
Check.
Hey, man, I want to thank y'all for letting me come on today. I am a loyal listener. I'm a big podcast listener. I don't watch a bunch of TV because I'm always on the go. But, hey, y'all are family, so I'm going to listen to it regardless. But I like the movement that y'all got. You guys are expanding your reach with going to Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, etc. So keep doing what y'all doing, man. I'm going to listen every week, and I'm going to always put on for y'all, too. So
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate
yes, sir.
Check it. It's Nationwide Nate. I don't have nothing to say. You already know.
He never has
I
anything.
never have anything to say. Just follow me.
Hey, what's funny that you don't have nothing to say is like your brother is like the dude with the biggest mouth.
Right. Like,
Listen,
It's funny, like all y'all are quiet naturally, but your brother. How did that happen?
I don't know. He's the
I'm gonna get you
biggest,
to talk.
He's the biggest people person I ever met. He know
One of my favorite people on this earth.
I mean, he's the biggest person I know, too.
Yeah, that too.
No, my brother is.
Big cat.
4 X's, no O's. You know, like,
He's sexy.
Big bro know everybody but me. I'm the quiet dude, laid back. I don't have nothing to say. Just follow me, Natwan for everything.
I mean, I feel like this show is definitely perfect, man. Shout out to Chuck. We appreciate you coming through. You did us a huge favor. I know we went a little long today, but I think it was worth it. So I appreciate you for tuning in and still being tuned in as of I speak. Follow me at King Meets DYT on all networks, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all the above. You know, man, honestly, I just appreciate everything we got going on positive in the city. Chuck, you bringing everything back to Dayton, but you are shining a light in Cincinnati also as a CPS.
Richardson for mayor 2024.
Director. Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Richardson's, man, we in the building, you know, we 2-2. Those guys can't see us in any sport, you know what I'm saying? 2-on-2 battle. We might have to get the GoPro out and give you these baskets
catch him
ASAP.
3 a.m. in honors dorm.
Hey, straight up, off of half a Irk jerk, you feel me? So I definitely want to thank everybody out there, man. Embrace your flyness and conquer your shyness, man. We doing what we doing, man, and we got the voice. Y'all gonna hear it, and y'all can't stop us because we coming.
We out.
Cartier cashing out.